Who just said wonderful? Oh, I'm wonderful too. So my name is Miss Alexander, and I used to teach at Eisenberg. I taught in this hallway. I taught in room 7. How many of you guys know? You guys know Miss 3rd grade teacher. Okay. She was well, I taught in Miss room, and I know your teacher. I used to teach with Miss Muchler, and I taught 2nd grade. So every once in a while, I really miss teaching kids. So I go to teachers and I say, please, can I teach your kids? Because I just love teaching kids. And I heard, now I don't know, heard that Miss Muchler has the best 2nd grade class in Colonial. That's the word around Colonial. So I thought I have to come teach to Miss Muchler's room. And I think I don't know. And I mean, you guys are probably, yeah. And so I had to come. So thank you for letting me come and teach the best 2nd grade class. And I won't tell anybody else, but a 2nd grade class. All right. So you guys love social studies. I love social studies. I love social studies. And so I get to do social studies all the time. I know, I'm so lucky. I know, I'm so lucky. So here's what I want you to do. Today we're gonna do some economics. That's a big word. I know, it's a big word. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to put on your thinking caps, and I want you to think about making choices. Okay? And I want you to think, have you ever had to make, now don't shout out. I just want you to put your thinking cap on, right? Have you ever had to make a choice? Okay? If you've ever had to make a choice, touch your nose. If you've ever had to make a choice. All right. So let's think about this. Have you ever had to make a choice today? Did you have to make a choice today? Like maybe you had to make a choice in the lunchroom. Did anybody have to make a choice in the lunchroom? Oh, I like that. Can you please tell us what you did in the lunchroom? What choice you had to make?
We had salad or the chips or to-go bag or a grilled cheese sandwich.
Grilled cheese sandwich or a salad, so she had to make a choice. All right, so she had to make a choice in the lunchroom. Did anybody else have to make a choice in the lunchroom? All right. So my question is, you had to make a choice, and I want to know how you decided. So you knew you had to make a choice, and I want you to think, and here's what I want you to do. I just want you to turn and tell the person beside you, how did you decide what you were going to choose? How did you decide what you were going to choose? How did you decide what to choose?
I choose the bag.
Oh, did you make a choice? Was that what to play with?
I choose the bean bag, so I go to bowling pins.
Oh, okay. All right.
What was the other choice? What was the other option?
How did you make your choice?
I said I would pick the one with the chips first, and then tomorrow I would eat the other one.
Oh, I like that. Berg Nation. Oh, I like it. So I'm going to have one person who really liked the choice. Can you make a choice?
I made my choice by saying I would choose the other one and then eat the other one tomorrow.
So like today I will eat this one, and then tomorrow I will eat that one. If you do something kind of like that, show me. Did anyone decide a different way? How did you your choice? Say, like, today I'll do this, tomorrow I'll do that. Did anybody do it a different way?
I choose my favorite thing.
Oh, my favorite thing, right? So the choice was between, what did you guys have today for lunch? Salad or? Okay, tacos or salad. So he made his choice by which do I like better. Do I like the sandwich or do I like the salad? Okay. So we all have to make choices, right? And why do you have to make choices? I'm kind of curious. Like, why do you have to make choices? Because you all just said you made this. table over here was making a choice between which toy to use after school. Why do we have to make choices?
Because we can't do all of it at once.
You can't do everything at once, okay? Anybody else want to share why we have to make choices?
You can't just if you don't use one pencil at a time or one round at a time, it will be a mess.
Sometimes it'll be a mess if you try to use everything at the same time. Can you imagine if you tried to color with every single crayon at the same time? It'd be very messy. One more person. Let's see. Why do you have to make choices? You can't get everything you want. My goodness. I wish we could get everything we want, but you're exactly correct. We cannot get everything we want. We have to make choices. So this is what a choice is. A choice is when we make a decision. We decide between this possibility or this possibility, two or more. Do you know adults have to make choices?
Yeah.
We do. I had to make a choice this morning. I really wanted to look beautiful for you guys, so I had my closet and had all these clothes out, and I was like, do I wear this? Should I wear my favorite black dress? Should I wear polka dots? Or should I wear glitter? I made a choice to wear this, and the reason I chose this, I couldn't wear everything I wanted to wear, but I chose this because cover my legs. I was trying to adapt and stay warm. So we have to make choices because we can't have everything that we want. We're going to read a story. I know. And last year I came and I read to Miss I read The Day Crayons Quit, and I'm an expert at reading kids' books. I love to do it. And I love to do voice about 8 and illustrations. In fact, it won an award because of its illustrations. So I'm going to come around and I of the book because it's amazing. Okay, so here's what I need. I need you to put your listening ears on, and I need you to listen to A Chair for My Mother. All right. Here we go. My mother works as a waitress in the blue tile diner. Notice the blue tile. After school sometimes, I go to meet her there. Then her boss, Josephine, gives me a job too. I wash the salts and peppers and fill the ketchups. One time, I peeled all the onions for the onion soup. When I finished, Josephine says, "Good work, honey," and pays me. And every time I put half of my money into the jar. I thought the same thing. What jar? Did anybody else think what jar? It's a jar. Here we go. It takes a long time to fill a jar this big. Every day when my mother comes home from work, I take down the jar. My mama empties all her change from tips out of her purse for me to count. Then we push all the coins into the jar. Sometimes my mama is laughing when she comes home from work. Sometimes she's so tired she falls asleep while I count the money out into piles. Some days she has lots of tips. Some days she has only a little. Then she looks worried. But each evening, every single shiny coin goes into the jar. Oh, you said there's not much yet? Great observation. We sit in the kitchen to count the tips. Usually Grandma sits with us too. While we count, she likes to hum. Often she has money in her old leather wallet for us. Whenever she gets a good bargain on tomatoes or bananas or something she buys, she puts by the savings and they go into the jar. When we can't get a single other coin into the jar, We are going to take out all and go buy a chair. Yes, a chair, a wonderful chair. Get one covered in velvet with roses all over it. We are going to get the best chair in the whole world. That's because our old chairs burned up. There was a big fire in our other house. All our chairs burned. So did our sofa, and so did everything else. That wasn't such a long time ago. So, I've got a question. We did say, I like how someone said there wasn't a lot of money in there yet, but they're putting their money into a jar, okay? So, my question is, what do they want? What does Mama and Grandma, what do they all want? What do they really, really want? What do they really, really want? Whisper it to me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I think we could do a better whisper than that. Whisper it to me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. A chair. They really want a chair. Not just any chair. They were pretty, she was they want, not just a chair, they want a wonderful, beautiful, fat, soft armchair with velvet and roses all over it. They know exactly what they want. Have you guys ever wanted anything? Yeah. Yeah. I wanted his fortune if it was $1 million earlier, but it wasn't. So we all want things. So a want is a wish, right? Like something that we really, really wish for. Okay? And somebody earlier said we can't have everything we want. This gentleman here, we can't have everything we want, but we do want lots of things. How many of you guys want lots of things? I know. So it's a wish. Something that we can satisfy by a good or a service. And I know everybody in here knows good or service. Have you guys ever heard that word before? Raise your hand if you've heard the word good. What about service? Good job, first grade teachers. So they wanted a chair. Why did they want a chair? What happened in the story? A chair? I heard from this gentleman right here. Why did they want a chair?
Because the house burned up and all of the chairs, sofas, and chairs, sofas, and those were burning up.
They burned up. So if they burned up, can they use them any longer? No. They really want burned up. So how are they going to get that chair? What are they doing to get that chair? They're doing something.
Saving.
They're saving. And how are they saving? What are they doing? Just wishing? Are they going, well, I really, really wish that I could get that chair? What are they doing? They're definitely trying to get more money to have enough money to get the chair. How are they getting that money? How are they getting that money? This gentleman. By working. Who's working? Who's working? Over here. Who's working?
They are working to get more money in their job.
They're all working. How is Mama work? Where does Mama work? I'm just curious. Where does Mama work? Do you remember where she works? At the restaurant, at a diner. And when she gets home, what does Mama do? What does she do? How are they saving? Sometimes she's laughing, sometimes she's tired, but every single time she comes home, what do?
They count the money.
They count the money, and what do they do with the money? They save it, and they save it where? Everybody. In the jar. Now here's my question. Do they put dollars in the jar?
No.
What do they put in the jar? They put coins in the jar. So they take all the shiny coins and they put it in the jar. Good job. Okay. How many people are really curious as to what's going to happen? Okay, here we go. My mother and I were coming home from buying new shoes. Oh, I love new shoes. I had new sandals. She had new pumps. We were walking to our house from the bus. We were looking at everyone's tulips. She was saying she liked red tulips, and I was saying I liked yellow ones. Then we came to our block. Right outside our house stood 2 big fire engines. I could see tall orange flames came out of the roof. Our neighbors stood in a bunch across the street. Mama grabbed my ran. My uncle saw us and he ran to us. Mama yelled, "Where's Mother?" And I yelled, "Where's my friend?" Ida waved and shouted, "She's here, she's here. She's okay, don't worry." Grandma was all safe too, though it took a while to find her. But everything else in our whole house was spoiled. What does spoiled mean? What does spoiled mean?
Messed up.
Messed up. It's messed up. Messed up. Couldn't use it. What was left of the house was turned to charcoal and ashes. We went to stay with my mother's sister, Aunt Ida, and Uncle Sandy. Then we were able to move into the apartment downstairs. We painted the walls yellow. The floors were all shiny, but the rooms were very empty. The first day we moved in, the neighbors brought pizza and cake and ice cream. And they brought a lot of other things, too. The family across the street brought a table and 3 kitchen chairs. The very old man next door gave us a bed from when his children were little. My other grandpa brought us his beautiful rug. My mother's other sister, Sally, had made us red and white curtains. Mama's boss, Josephine, brought pots and pans, silverware and dishes. My cousin brought me her own stuffed bear. Everyone clapped when my grandma made a speech. "You are the kindest people," she said, "and we thank you very, very much. It's lucky we're young and can start all over." Now look, do you see a difference?
Whoa.
What is the difference that you know? Whoa is right. I mean, whoa. Do you see a difference? Why don't you turn to the person beside you and tell them, whisper it though so nobody else can hear, if you notice the difference.
All done. And there's like more money there.
Do you have the other chair, by the way? Where would I put it?
Money is filled with.
Oh, is it? Thank you. Oh, what is the difference? And I even heard some people say, "Whoa." What is the difference? What is, go ahead.
Money is filled in the jar.
It is filled to the top. And I remember she said they were, what were they doing? Starts with an S? How, you could say it out loud. They said when they got to the top,
They were going to spend it.
they spend it. They're going to spend it and buy a chair. Why a chair? Because they really what? Really and now they filled it to the tip top. Do you think they can get any more coins in there? No. I don't know. Let's see what they do. Let's see. That was last year, but we still have no sofa and no big chairs. When Mama comes home, her feet hurt. "There's no good place for me to take a load off my feet," she says. When Grandma wants to sit back and hum and cut potatoes, she has to get as comfortable as she can on a hard kitchen chair. That is how come Mama brought home the biggest jar she could find at the diner, and all the coins started to go into the jar. Now the jar is too heavy for me to lift down. Uncle Sandy gave me a quarter. He had to boost me up so I could put it in. It's a lot of money. After supper, Mama and Grandma and I stood in front of the jar. Well, I never would have believed it, but I guess it's full, Mama said. My mother brought home little paper wrappers for the nickels and the dimes and the quarters. I counted them all out, and we wrapped them all up. On my mother's day off, we took all the coins to the bank, and the bank exchanged them for $10 bills. Then we took the bus downtown to shop for our what? Chair. They're going to get a chair, but I do like that you remember they did need a sofa. So what did they do when the jar was full? What did they do? Did they try to fit the jar in their pocket? No, they didn't try to fit in their pocket. So what did they do with that jar when it was full? Somebody I haven't heard from yet. Let me see. I haven't heard from you. What did they do?
They saved it until it got all the way to the top.
Okay, and then they got all the way to the top, and then they
wanted to spend it.
Then they wanted to. What did they do with all the coins in the jar so they could spend it? Went to the bank to get $10. What did they do with the coins? Did they just come in and throw them all down and say, here's all the coins? No. What did they do? They saved it. Let me read it again. Here we go. Listen very carefully. Mother brought home little paper rolls and the dimes and the quarters. Then I counted them all out and we wrapped them all up. What did they do to the... They wrapped them. Have you guys ever seen coins that are all wrapped up in a little wrap? Your mom and grandma have done that? So they wrapped them all up. Your pop-pop did that. Very smart. And then they took them to the what? The bank. And then they got $10 bills. Okay. Here we go. And here's the stack of the money at the bottom. I know. It's very exciting. Whoa, it's very exciting. I know. Here we go. I'll wait. Okay. We shopped through 4 furniture stores. We tried out big chairs and small ones, high chairs and low chairs, soft chairs and harder ones. Grandma said she felt like Goldilocks and the 3 little bears trying out all the chairs. You guys remember that story, right? The chairs. Goldilocks and 3 bears. Finally, we found the chair we were dreaming of. And the money in the jar was enough to pay for it. We called Aunt Ida and Uncle Sandy. They came right down in their pickup truck to drive the chair home for us. They knew we couldn't wait for it to be delivered. Tap your nose if you think you see the chair that they were... Yeah, okay. Brilliant 2nd graders. I tried out our chair in the back of the truck. Mama wouldn't let me sit there while we drove, but they let me sit in it while they carried it up to the door. Do you think she was excited to get the new chair?
Yeah.
We set the chair right beside the window with the red and white curtains. Grandma and Mama and I sat in it while Aunt Ida took our picture. Now Grandma sits in it and talks with the people going by in the daytime. Mama sits down and watches the news on TV when she comes home from her job. After supper, I sit with her and she can reach right up and turn out the light if I fall asleep in her lap. And then I love this page. Look, there's the picture of them.
That's a nice, really
It does look like a pretty nice comfy chair. So, choice to make. What was the choice they had to make when they went out shopping? You guys think really hard. Choice that they had to make when they went out shopping.
They were just trying out the chairs to see if they were comfortable or not comfortable.
So they had to make a choice between lots of different chairs, right? Short ones, tall ones, soft ones, hard ones. They all of the chairs. So, when someone has to make a choice between all different chairs, this is a really big word. And this is a word, Miss Muchler, if they're using this word over the next couple weeks, I want to know, because I like how you're trying. Does anybody want to try this word? How about we have 2 people trying? It's okay. Let's try. Go ahead. You're so close. Say it really loud. What did you say?
Alternative.
It was close, right? It's called alternatives.
Say that.
Alternatives. That's a really big word. So when you have to make a choice, all the things that you have to choose between, all of those chairs were their alternatives. Today when you had to make a choice at lunch, all the things that you had to choose between were your what? Alternatives. When I had to make a choice as to what fantastic, fabulous outfit I was going to wear today. And I was trying them on in the mirror and what I wanted to wear. They were my what? Alternatives. So I had to make choices between my alternatives. So, why again did the family have to make a choice? Why again did they have to make a choice? They couldn't get all the chairs. They couldn't get everything. It would be full of chairs. You are correct. It would be too many chairs. So, what kind of chair did they choose? Let's see. Who looks like they were really... Listen, what kind of chair did they choose? One with roses on it. Anybody else want to describe the chair? It had roses on it. And... fluffy. And...
They said that pink or the color.
So it was like pink and roses. Was it comfortable?
Yes.
Was it? It was velvet and comfy. Chair. When people have to make a really easy choice, I'm going to give you an example. I am allergic to seafood. I can't eat it. Shrimp, can't eat it. Crabs, can't eat it. Lobster, can't eat it. And last week I went to a restaurant I went to. Seafood restaurant. My daughter said, Mom, I really want... Can I go? All right. She really wanted it. And I said, okay. And so we had all these alternatives. And lobsters and fish. And then one chicken. Chicken. It was a really easy choice. I just chose chicken. Just like that. Chicken. Now, my daughter had a really tough choice because she loves shrimp and she loves crab and she loves lobster and she said, oh, I want it all. I want lobster and I want shrimp. And guess what I said? I said, you have to make a choice. You cannot have everything you want. She had a really, really tough choice. And so she started to do something. She started to think, well, if I have this, crabs are messy and you got to pick them all, and shrimp are messy. And but I could get the sandwich. She went through all of these things. She was trying to make a decision and a choice. And so I thought to myself, this was a really tough choice for her. One so tough for me. So if somebody has to make a really tough choice, there's a way they can do that. Right? So sometimes they can use a chart. Oh, it's pretty interesting, right? Have you guys ever seen a chart before?
Yes.
Like this. Where have you seen a chart before? I want to see somebody seen a chart.
I saw a chart in when I saw a chart. What my mom said a chart because I wanted skates for Christmas last year, and I wanted this puppy, a robot puppy, and I wanted a real puppy, and I turned.
Wants a lot of things.
Made a thing, and I choose the real puppy.
So you know what? So you kind of made a chart like this. Like you wanted the real puppy and you wanted like the robot puppy. So aren't these cute?
Yeah.
These are adorable. They are kind of adorable. So the family had to choose between a chair. So let's just imagine that these are the two chairs. Obviously they'd be bigger than this, right? But let's just imagine that they had the choice between this chair and this chair, and they wanted both of them. They have to then make a decision. Choose this alternative or this alternative because they can't have them both. They want both. So they start to think, well, let's think about this. If I have this chair and this, and we call these words, advantages, disadvantages. Right. I know, the D is cut off. Advantages mean? What do you think? Well, this isn't about. We're trying to decide what we should get, right? You guys were racing, right? If you guys were going to have a race, and I said, you have to start all the way back there, but I'm going to start all the way up here, and we're going to run to this wall. Who has the advantage? Because I'm what? I'm closer to the wall. That's a benefit. That's something that's good. So we call something that's good a benefit, right? And something that's not is a disadvantage. So we have to decide between these two, because we can have everything we want, and we have advantages and disadvantages. We think of advantages with a smiley face. Show me your smiley face. Show me your smiley face. I want to see everyone's smiley faces. Okay? And disadvantages with a sad face. Show me your sad face. All right. I love it. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to, what's your name? Yes. What is it? Genevieve. We are going to kind of do what Genevieve did. She wanted the puppy and the real puppy, and we are going to make or use our chart. I know it kind of looks just like that other chart. I'm going to put it on this side. Let's do it over here, I guess. And we are going to write some advantages and disadvantages. And what did I say we should do with the advantages? We should draw, show me your faces. Advantages. Show me your faces. Well, that does not look like an advantage. Show me the smiles. An advantage. All right, and a disadvantage. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Start with the rocking chair. And let's think of advantages of the rocking chair. You know what? How about this? So that everybody can have an advantage. Turn to your neighbor and everybody share an advantage. So everybody. I like how he tries to include both people.
Yeah.
Berg Nation.
Bird.
Let's try. Of a rocking chair. Come on. One advantage of the rocking chair. One advantage. Right here. That it rocks. Did anybody else say that it rocks? Okay. Another advantage or benefit of the rocking chair. Other than it rocks. I haven't heard from you today. What's another advantage of the rocking chair? It's hard, and maybe some people like hard chairs. It's hard. Another advantage of a rocking chair. You can sit on it. Another advantage of the rocking chair. You can rock in it. Another advantage of the rocking chair. We'll take two more.
It's made out of wood.
It's made out of wood. Another advantage of the rocking chair.
You're allowed to take the rocking chair outside.
Ooh, you can take it outside. How many people have ever seen a rocking chair outside? That's where my mom has hers. All right, and I'm going to take one more because this young lady over here looks like she's really ready to share.
It's wood.
It's wood. Yeah.
It's like a chair.
It's like a chair. What?
But it has something to make it rock.
So it has that ability to make it rock. Okay. So now let's talk about the disadvantages of a rocking chair. Things that we don't really like about the rocking chair. The disadvantages about the rocking chair. Because we're trying to make a really tough decision here.
It's so hard.
It's just really hard. Okay? Another disadvantage. Oh, can you share that again? I didn't even think of that one. He said you might get a splinter from the wood. That's true. That is true. Another disadvantage of the rocking
chair is
get the splinter. So maybe something could be on it. What happens if you're behind a rocking chair and it rocks back?
Oh, you can get squished.
You can get, your foot could get squished, your hand, so something like your hand or your foot. Okay, so now we're going to move to the other chair. And I'm looking for somebody to share an advantage, a benefit of this chair. It's got roses on it. So we'll say it's decorated. It's got some decoration. And this gentleman here.
And it's comfy.
It's comfy. And I'm pushing on it right now, and it feels really comfy. It feels a little comfy there. Okay?
It's so soft.
And I'm going to write that exact thing. It's so soft. So soft. Because that's very descriptive. I like description. It's so soft. And the gentleman here, an advantage of this chair, a benefit. Okay, I'll come back. Advantage. It can't smush your foot. Okay, so you wouldn't get hurt. What about some disadvantages of this chair? Some disadvantages. that it might be too big. It is kind of big. So it's a lot bigger, and that could actually be a disadvantage. Okay. What's the advantage of this chair? It really. We'll take two more.
Maybe it's heavy, so you can't carry it. You're gonna have to put it in a big truck.
So you might have to have a big truck to get it, and if you don't,
Then you're gonna have to need a different truck.
yeah. And one more, easily.
And that's it.
All right. Everybody could see it, okay? So here we go. So here is our chart, our decision-making chart, because we have to make a decision. Is this a big decision or a small decision?
Big decision.
It's a big decision. Do we need to do a chart for a small decision? No. Could you imagine if we had to do a chart for every decision we had to make?
Yeah.
We would be doing charts all day long, but this is a big decision. So really important decisions. It's really, and now looking at this advantage, the advantages, and the disadvantages, which chair do you think they should choose? Let's take a vote. I like votes. And you guys learned that in civics at the beginning of the year. Voting. Because here we go. Here's how you vote. You're just going to raise your hand if you think the one chair. You're going to raise your hand if you think the other. So here we go. Everybody gets one vote. If you think they should pick the rocking chair, raise your hand. Wow. No one? Man. If you think they should pick the chair with the roses, raise your hand. So everyone picked this chair. Nobody wants the rocking chair. Berg Nation. Okay, so we just made a chart with our advantages and our disadvantages, and now I'm going to have you guys do the same thing. I know. Very exciting. So here's what we're going to do. Miss Muller, do they have certain groups they work with or partners that they work with?
Just the tables.
Okay, so you're going to pick a partner at your table. The note cards.
You three.
Show me that you're ready. I need to see that you're ready. Let me see which group is ready. This looks, they're ready to go. Wow, this group looks ready to go. Oh, it's amazing. Okay, don't touch these yet. I'm right in front of you. And then you three are going to work together. And eyes up here, eyes on me when you're ready. Nobody. Did we just make one of these for chairs? We did. And why did we make it again? Why did we make this again? A decision chart. We had a right here. Yep. It was a big decision. We had a problem to solve. We had to make a big decision. We had to make a choice. So, I am looking for those cards. Okay. So you have two problems. Here's problem one. Somebody want to read that for us? Problem one. Problem 1. That was awesome. Can you say that super loud for everybody? What do we want to eat for lunch? Or who wants to read the next one for us? So what do we want to do when we get home from school today? Or what do we want to eat for lunch? So you, with your partner, you're going to choose either this problem or this one. Okay? And here's what you're going to do. Step 1. You're going to take one of your note cards, not right now, when it's time, and you're going to write the problem on the card. How many choices do you have?
1.
You have 2. You have this problem. Are you going to write both of them on your card?
No.
You're going to write one of them on your card, okay? And you're going to put the problem right there up on your card, okay? 2. You want to select all of your problem. All are your what? Mama, their alternative was a rocking chair, and their so your alternative are your what? Say it really loud. Choices. So your problem. Okay, that's step 2. You're going to put on a note card. And here we go. Step 3, you're going to write the alternatives. Okay, so you're going to have 2 alternatives. Alternative 1.
Alternative 2.
And alternative what?
2.
2. Okay, so far we have our problem, and we have 2 alternatives. Solve your problem. Now can you say what you said before? Step 4, disadvantages and advantages. So we're going to do disadvantages. Oh, wait, we're not ready yet. You don't need to worry about a pencil yet. And so we're going to do disadvantages, and then we're going to do what? Advantages. And show me again what your face for advantages. Advantages. Show me again your face for advantages. Let me see who really, I'm looking for a student who really screams advantage right now. Like, pretty good. Okay. So you're going to mark it with the happy face. And disadvantages you're going to mark with a what? And then the last step is you're then going to make your what? You're going to make your choice. Okay? Now here's the part that I saved, and this is a really difficult part. That's why I said pencils are down. Thinking about the story that we just read, A Chair for My Mother, and what we said. We have this alternative, correct? And alternative. You guys voted, and which one did you choose? The chair. Choose. You had to give up the right. Opportunity cost. Who's ever heard that word before? Cost. Heard that word before. It's a big word. Opportunity. It's best alternative. But did you choose it? No. The rocking chair. And which chair did we not choose? The rocking chair. So our opportunity cost was what we did. It's the rocking chair. It's the next best alternative. Okay? So after you're done, and you have your alternative 1, and you have your alternative 2, and you write your advantages for both, and you write your disadvantages for both, and then you make your choice, you're then going to also tell what was your opportunity cost. Which alternative is your opportunity cost? Your next best alternative. That's your opportunity cost. So I want to know what your choice was, and I also want to know does anybody remember that big word?
Opportunity.
Opportunity what? Cost, because a cost is something that I have to give up, okay? So here we go. Get your note cards out. If you need help with the steps, just raise your hand and I'll come around and help you with the steps. Okay, so what are you guys choosing? Which problem? What do you want to eat for lunch? Okay, so on your one card, let's write what we're going to eat for lunch. That's your problem. What problem are you guys choosing? And we only need one card. Guys, you're only going to write the problem on one card. So pick one person. Pick one person to be the secretary or the writer. Who's going to write for you guys? How about you write? Who's going to write for you guys? She's going to write? Okay, and then for you guys, who's going to write? Okay, sweetheart, he's going to write for you guys. So let's put this down, and you're going to tell him what to write. So write your problem. What problem did you guys choose? Okay, so can you write that on here? What we want? Do you want to join another group then that's doing that problem? Why don't you pull your chair over here and join this group?
He started writing.
So you put your pencil down. You put your pencil. Okay. And what problem did you guys choose?
What do we want to eat for lunch?
Okay. What do we want to eat for lunch? And are you guys all working together?
Yeah, but do Angel.
Okay, so why don't you let her write for your group? And you guys have the problem, what do we want to eat for lunch? Okay, so here we go. What do we want to eat for lunch? Step 2 is you have to think of 2 alternatives. So what could you choose to eat for lunch? What are 2 things?
Okay, first of all, how many people that you...
Okay, so pizza on one card and tacos on another.
Okay, 2 against 1, right? And that sometimes is just salad.
Okay, so here we go. Ready? What do we want to do? I'll help you guys. All right. You guys have what do we want to do for lunch. Now let's think of 2 alternatives. What's one alternative for lunch?
I think I went for lunch is pizza.
Pizza.
I live next to the best pizza place on earth.
You live next to the best pizza place on earth?
I mean, in Delaware.
In Delaware?
Yeah, there's a market and there's a pizza store right next to that.
You are lucky.
Right there.
I love pizza. Okay, salad. Okay, so he's writing it. Now let's think of 2 alternatives of what you guys could do when you get home from school. Okay, so you pick one. What's one? Eat macaroni and cheese. Okay, right? Eat macaroni and cheese. She must love macaroni and cheese. And you said, what's another alternative? Write that down. Okay, so we have our problem. Now get another card, and we have to come up with. Yeah, because he's writing for both of you. You guys are working together. Okay, so let's think of two alternatives. What's one thing you could do?
Or watch.
Okay, so why don't we pick?
I want to go to my home and then for our Christmas tree.
Okay, so why don't you say decorate the Christmas tree, and why don't you?
No.
Okay, so. Let's next step. Okay, mac and cheese. We have mac and cheese and dirt bike. Let's. Sorry, step 4. Yeah, step 3 we did that, and so now we're on step 4, which is what? Advantages and disadvantages. So let's think of an advantage for pizza. There's one person writing, honey. So what's one advantage of pizza?
That you can because you was almost
Okay, so we could have pepperoni. What's an advantage? And what's another one? Go ahead.
Cheese pizza.
Okay, so we have options if it's pizza. Okay, so here I got a question. What's an advantage of salad?
Then another one, salad, vegetables.
So that means what?
Tomatoes.
What? Okay, so maybe you like vegetables. So here you write, we like vegetables. What's another advantage of salad?
Cucumber.
But what's an advantage? What's a good thing about picking salad?
Healthy.
Healthy. It's healthy. Okay, guys, so here we go. Let's put up our decision-making chart. What do we want to do after school today? We could either eat macaroni and cheese or we could ride our dirt bike. So now here we go. We have to come up with a disadvantage.
I'm going to eat macaroni and cheese and ride my dirt bike.
And we have to come up with a what?
Alexander?
You sure can, buddy.
You don't have to ask. You can. You don't have to ask.
So the happy faces are what?
The advantage.
You got it. And the sad faces are the what?
The disadvantage.
So can you guys start coming up with your advantages and your disadvantages? Okay, I'm here. Okay.
How spell peanut butter?
Peanut butter and what? Oh, fluff and peanut butter and fluff?
Peanut butter and fluffernutter. Okay.
Fluff and nutter.
Peanut butter and fluff. I would totally choose fluff because fluff is.
You like those sandwiches? Okay. So your problem is, where's your problem? What we want for lunch. Oh, you got that? Okay. Well, you guys love food.
I love food.
Okay. So now you have your problem, right?
Let's put it together.
What are
No. Okay.
the disadvantages? Advantages.
You can't have control.
Okay. So, what's something good about eating chicken fingers and fries?
That was in my notes.
And what about fluff and nutter? Can you guys write those? Okay. So here we go. What do we want to do home? What are our two alternatives? Decorating the what?
Christmas tree.
And what?
Playing with Play-Doh.
Playing with Play-Doh. And we have to come up with, what's this other step? Advantages and what? Very good. Advantages and disadvantages. So an advantage for decorating the Christmas tree. An advantage for playing with Play-Doh that you really love to do. And a disadvantage for decorating the Christmas tree. And a disadvantage for playing with Play-Doh. Well, can you guys write your advantages and your disadvantages? Okay, let's see what you guys got. Okay, here we go. So we have our problem. It's okay, we can do it both together. What we want to eat for lunch is our problem, right? Let's think of 2 alternatives. So give me some alternatives. I know, but I want you guys to tell me 2 advantages because we're going to write them on note cards. Alternatives. What's one alternative that you guys could have for lunch? Salad. What is it? Okay, well here, let's put it here. What is another alternative? You could have a sandwich or nachos.
That's what I like.
Okay, after we have our alternatives, we have to do what? Advantages and our what? Disadvantages. Okay? I'm going to circulate and do everybody, okay? Here we go. I am going to 3 more minutes.
We're done.
Okay. You guys do it?
Miss Alexander.
Yes, buddy.
Lee and me picked.
We'll be right over, okay? So let's do it this way. This is our problem.
Doritos. And what else do you want, Andrew? Nachos. Doritos. Me 3.
Now, we have to now come up with our... What does it say up there? We have to make... Trying to decide. Got a tough decision. So we have to come up with advantages and what?
And unadvantages.
Yeah, disadvantages. Can you guys write an advantage for Doritos, an advantage for nachos, a disadvantage for Doritos, and a disadvantage for nachos? Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we vote?
Just did.
Okay.
He said he wants to keep pizza. We both said that we wanted to.
Good salad. Can I have the pizza? We're going to put it here. Okay. Where are your... So this is healthy and your choices. Where are your disadvantages? Did you guys write a disadvantage for me? Can you write a disadvantage for pizza?
This is macaroni
and can you write a disadvantage for salad?
And this is your... What's this?
And what's a disadvantage for salad?
You have advantages.
That's a disadvantage or an advantage?
Of carbs.
So what's a disadvantage of salad?
This is your title, right? So you got advantages.
So what would be a disadvantage of salad?
It probably tastes weird. That's nice.
Okay, write that.
Can I what?
How do you spell jelly?
What's this?
Right here.
Hey, you know you two are working together, right? Okay, so together.
Right there.
Your 2 choices. What is it?
How are we doing over here, group? Do we have our decision-making chart? Let's see. What do we want to eat for lunch? Your choice is pizza or tacos. Did you write an advantage for pizza? Can you write an advantage for tacos? Can you write a disadvantage for pizza and a disadvantage for tacos? So you don't have to write the step out. Just write it for me. So game or sleep. Ooh. Can you write an advantage for playing a game? And can you write an advantage for sleeping? Can you write a disadvantage for game? Advantage for sleeping? Can you do that for me? Okay. Advantages. You have to make your choice. You can. time it is, so I can keep a... Oh, it's already that late?
Yeah.
It's already 3:15?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an hour.
Okay. You go right ahead. Berg Nation! Oh, let's try that again. Berg Nation! Okay, here's what I need to see. Oh, Nation! I messed that all up. Okay, how about eyes on me? Pencils down. I'm going to have a couple people come up and share theirs. Okay? And we're going to put them up here. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Is there anybody that wants to share? How about we do this group? Okay, oh, here's the thing though. I really like when other people are very respectful. So if somebody is sharing right now, what should our eyes do?
On them.
Okay, I'll wait. Eyes should be on the people sharing. Pencils should be down. Okay, so you guys come up. 1 second. It's okay. Oh, we should slant. Yes. It's okay. Just come up. Do you want to come up? It's okay. Come on up. Okay. Can you tell the class what problem you chose?
We chose. What do we want for?
Oh, I'm waiting for everyone's eyes to be on everybody who's sharing. Thank you so much. Which problem did you choose? Say it really again aloud.
What are we gonna have for lunch?
What are we going to have for lunch? Okay. Here we go. And what were your alternatives?
Pizza and salad.
Pizza
And salad.
and salad. And their disadvantages, which we'll put, their disadvantages, and then they had their advantages.
Advantage is it is healthy.
Sorry. What about the advantage for your pizza? What did you say?
Pepperoni. And
Okay,
let's put tomato.
tomato. And what are the disadvantages? They taste weird. Taste weird. Go ahead and put it up there. Not not healthy. It's okay. It's not healthy. So what was your opportunity cost? Good job. We're running a little bit short on time, so let's put our cards all together in the middle. Push them all in the middle. You guys can leave them up there. Awesome. And show me that you're ready. All the cards right in the middle. Thank you so much.
Oh, because we messed up on it.
It's okay. Let me see who pushed all their cards right to the middle. Oh, awesome job, group. I like ice cream, too. That's something I would have chose. Okay. Let me see who else has their cards. Awesome job. Awesome. And for this part, I'm actually going to have you come up on the carpet, but I'm looking to see who's cleaned up, who has their pencils down, who's ready to go. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. I still see some students with cards. So let me think. Let's do this table coming up and sitting down on the carpet. That table over there sitting on the carpet. This table right here coming sitting on the carpet. And that table right there coming and sitting on the carpet. Awesome job. And I'm just going to stand here so I can actually touch the board if I need it. All right, let me see who's ready to go. Such beautiful faces. Do you guys hear that at home all the time? You have beautiful faces? So here's the question that I have for you. We just talked about having two alternatives, correct? Like, for example, the group that just shared, what do we want for lunch? Or what do we want? It's or salad. What did they choose?
Pizza.
They chose the pizza. And what would they choose?
Pizza.
Oh, I need everyone to. What did they? So here's my question, though. Have you ever had to make a choice more than two alternatives?
Yeah.
So I want you guys did what
We,
they actually wrote down. Four. They
3. Pizza. And nachos. And also kind of like tacos.
and tacos. So how many alternatives did they have? 4. Have you? It is a lot. Have you guys ever had a decision like that where you have more than? So guess what? We are going to read this book. Does this girl look familiar?
Yeah, I can recognize that couch.
And, oh, you recognize the chair?
Me too.
How many people recognize the chair? How many people recognize this in the corner?
Oh, me.
So who do you think she is?
Rose.
Rosa. Do you think
From a chair for my mother.
she's the girl from A Chair for My Mother? And you know what? She is going to face where she has to make a decision, and she has more than 2 alternatives, and she has a bunch. So, look at that picture. Isn't that adorable? Here we go. Our new chair has Cocoa on one arm now. Like hot chocolate. Okay? It isn't brand new anymore, but Grandma and Mama and I still like to squeeze into it together, just like the day we first brought it home. That was when Aunt Ida, who lives upstairs, took this picture of us. We keep it on the shelf next to the big money jar, and the picture of me when I was 1 month old. And if you look here, there's the picture when she's 1 month old. And there's the jar of money.
It's half full.
It is half full. One Saturday, Mama and I were sitting in the chair in our bathrobes. I kept trying to talk to Mama about my birthday, which was going to be in just 3 days.
3 days.
But Mama wouldn't listen. On her day off from her job at the Blue Tile Diner, Mama loves to sit and read the newspaper. Then she never even hears the things I tell her. I had to tickle her foot until she threw down the paper and jumped out of the chair. Then she chased me all over the house. Silly. Who's the kid who won't let her own mother enjoy her well-earned rest, even on Saturday? I made my monster face. We made faces in the mirror. And Mama hugged me tight. You're much more fun than any news.
Remember they had to laugh until they had to meet.
I know.
That's funny.
The jar is only partly full now. But one time, Grandma and Mama and I saved up so much money that the jar was full to the top. That was when we went shopping and bought a chair for my mother. There was some money left even after we paid for the chair. Now we still put money in the jar every Friday when Mama brings her tips home from work. If I help out at the diner, I put money in the jar too. And Grandma puts in whatever she can spare. What are we going to spend the money on this time? I asked Mama.
Something special for me.
I I like how you picked up on the title.
Well, it's actually something.
She lifted down the jar and dumped it and me right into the chair. She called my grandma over too. Mother, she said, it's going to be Rosa's birthday in 3 days. The chair was really for you and me. Don't you think it's Rosa's turn to get something special? Grandma thought it was a wonderful idea. Why don't you take Rosa downtown shopping? Whatever you buy will be for me too. And it will be from Aunt Ida and Uncle Sandy. Whenever they get their pay, they drop money into our jar, I said. Mom and I got dressed fast, and Grandma changed the money into dollar bills. As we went out the door, she hollered after us, Rosa, you buy something real nice. So why is the money jar only, he said half full, partially full. Why is it only partially full? What do you think? Well, I love how you have your hand up. Why is it only partially full?
Because they spend most of it on the chair.
So they spent a lot of it on the chair. And are they saving as much money?
Yes.
Now, let's see.
And I was thinking,
Why not? So you said not anymore. Why aren't they saving as much now?
because they're spending it.
Question, what did they save the money on in the last story? They wanted to get a what?
Chair.
And they really wanted the chair. Saving lots of money. Did they buy their chair?
Yes.
So they weren't saving as much this to have it partially full. The money in the jar? Them. And they have to do what to save that money?
Work.
They have to work to save that money. So I love how you guys said this word. What that we're saving for later?
Saving.
We're saving it. We're saving that money. And what does do with the money in this jar? We make sure we keep our feet to ourselves. But if somebody accidentally hits us, we just say, "Can you please not do that?" We don't do that. So what is they going to do with the money in the jar?
Spend it.
Oh, I love how someone has their hand up. What are they going to do?
They're going to spend it on, they're going to give it to Rosa so she can spend it.
On her what?
Birthday.
On her birthday gift. Here we go. You're right. Just say excuse me. I knew just what would be real nice, so we went right to the skate store.
Skates.
Ooh, I tried on skates. I skated up and down in the store. My friends Leora and Jenny and May all have new skates, and I really wanted them too. I could see myself dancing around on my new skates in the schoolyard to Leora's little radio. Then, just as the man was about to wrap up the box and Mama and I were about to pay for the skates, I wasn't so sure I wanted them. But I could tell that skates weren't really what I wanted to empty that big jar of money for. Not even white skates with orange wheels that could race and dance all around the street. So we went out of the store without buying anything.
Miss Mushler?
Yes.
Just a reminder that Landy's riding the bus today.
Alrighty.
Thanks.
Across the street was a department store, and I pulled Mama through the revolving door and up the escalator to the children's floor. There I tried on dresses, and I tried on coats. I tried on shoes and even hats, and I looked at myself all around in the big mirrors. I imagined standing just like that with Leora and Ginny and May outside the variety store on my birthday. I want these, I said to Mama, the polka dot dress with its own jacket and the blue shoes with crisscross stripes and little heels. Then, just as they were about to wrap them up and Mama and I were about to pay for them, I wasn't sure I really wanted them so much. I wanted them, but I could tell that new shoes and a new dress, even with its own jacket, were not the special present I wanted to empty the big jar for. So we went out of the department store without buying anything.
Come on, what is she gonna want?
I don't know. Well, she wants it. She wanted it. She didn't know if she wanted it that bad. Okay. You got to find out. I know I'm excited to find out. Now, the blue sleeping bag and a knapsack with pockets all over it. The sleeping bag. I pushed in the door and Mama followed me into that store. I could see just how it would be to go on a trip in Aunt Ida and Uncle Sandy's truck. Leora, Ginny, and May would come along. I'd pack everything we needed into the knapsack. Then we'd put up the tent by the lake and we'd sleep in it together. This is what I really want, I told my mother. But then, when the salesperson was wrapping it all up and Mama was about to pay for it, I got that feeling again. This was not the exact present I wanted to empty the whole jar for. Mama recognized that look on my face, and when we walked out of the store without any packages, Mama was laughing. But I started to cry. What if I can't ever decide? What if I end up with no birthday present at all? What if even my next birthday comes and I still can't decide? Mama wiped my tears. Don't worry, she said. You have a few days left until your birthday. Let's stop in the Blue Tile Diner and have a treat while you think about it some more. So why was she crying? Why was she crying?
She couldn't find anything she wanted.
Well, did she want those things?
Yeah, but she didn't want them, really. She thought about it and she said, this isn't what I really, really want.
So she wanted the skates and she wanted what else? Skates. So the camping stuff and what else?
The dress.
The dress and the shoes and so these were. So what could she do?
Wait, I thought it was he.
What could she do? What did you guys just do? What could she do to help her make a decision? What could she do?
Make a chart.
She could make a chart, a decision chart. She could, and she could write down, right, the alternatives, which would be the camping and the skates and the dress. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop right here.
Aww.
I know, because it's like a cliffhanger. I just want you to go home and think about it. Like, I'm going to leave you guessing and thinking about it. And then I'm going to come back and teach you the rest.
When you come back.
So here's what I need. Miss, which should go back first?
Well, let me do it by buses first. Bus 16 and 31, please pack up.
Oh, I love your procedures. The chair? Let me have it that way. And then next time I come, I'll